Hey, this is Sofia Hasmik. I play Chrissy Beppo on Superman Lois. I have been sitting here talking with Elias from the Man Cave Chronicles podcast. Been very excited, still excited, staying excited. You should be excited.
Sophia, welcome to the cave.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting time for you, huh?
God, really, really exciting. It's been like a whirlwind of excitement, like all the feels, all the emotions.
So yeah, we were talking off the air before, like, the listeners and the viewers know you as Chrissy from Superman Lois on CW. I mean, I can't wait till we dive into that. But first of all, yeah, like how exciting has this part been for you? Like, it got picked up like right after like one episode for a second season.
Yeah. Oh my, like that was like I think we were all just like so like there were text messages and
Yeah.
emails and like phone calls like flying everywhere like from the minute it happened in the morning. And I think that it just like I don't know, it really felt so good because I know everyone had been working so hard on it. Especially like from the minute I found out I got this part, it's just been like this cascading, like crying, smiling, laughing, like cheering. When I first found out, I'm not even kidding you. I was like in a parking lot in Tarzana and I got the phone call and I didn't know what to do with myself and with all the excitement that I just started sprinting around this parking lot, just trying to like figure out what was going on.
That's
It
awesome.
was great.
So so yeah, I mean, you're in the acting world, but when I was doing some research on you, like that wasn't even like your goal at first. Now you were like into figure skating from what I saw, and you were competing professionally. Like, tell us a little bit about that and what kind of a turn did it take all of a sudden into acting?
Well, I was hoping to be professional. I was not professional, but I was training for it. Like that was what I wanted to do. I figure skated for about like 13 years. I started very,
Wow.
very young and it just kind of happened very randomly, but I really fell in love with it. And, I just around like 15, 16, it was kind of like taking a toll on me. And I ended up quitting. And it was very soon after that that I realized that it wasn't really I mean, the sport is beautiful. It's such a phenomenal sport, but it wasn't so much that I had missed. I had missed performing. I had missed
Yeah.
being in front of an audience and storytelling and all that stuff. And so it, although it seems like such a weird transition, it kind of felt very fluid to me,
Mhm.
because it's just one is storytelling without words and one is with someone else's work,
Yeah.
bringing something to light. So devastated when I quit figure skating and then very quickly was like, no, that had to end for me to realize I needed to do this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you fall in love with figure skating?
I what's been told to me, because I can't, 3 years old, but somebody had gifted me a pair of like roller skates.
Okay.
And my parents were like, they were trying to teach me. And then there was a local ice rink that's since shut down around the valley. And there were just lessons there for like toddlers once a
Wow.
week, 20-minute group lessons. And I started doing it and kept falling and getting back up and falling and getting back up. And then a coach kind of approached my parents and were like, she's kind of like a little fearless. Like maybe
Yeah.
you want to do private lessons. And quickly after that, it like consumed my life. It became like a family thing every morning before school,
Oh wow.
weekends, competitions. But yeah, I mean, I really loved it. And it's kind of interesting because it's the same as acting. In any form, you build a bond around the people, like with the people around you,
Hmm.
and you build this like family and this camaraderie. So it's very easy to fall in love with that.
You mentioned, well, how old were you when you kind of stopped? 15, 17?
Yeah, like around like 15. Actually, I didn't even mention this. I when I quit competitive figure skating, I did theater on ice.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a very actually important thing that like eased the transition a little more because
Right.
that was just all performance. We did Disney's Haunted Mansion, and I got to play like the dead bride, and that was like my first audition ever. Like
Oh
the
wow.
girls had to audition for this one little solo part, and that's when I was like, this is what I want to do. So yeah, I was around like 15. I did theater on ice for about a year, and then it kind of it ended around my senior year of high school.
Did you ever think about like going back? Did you miss it at all?
My God, I miss it all the time. I miss it. I really, really miss it. I tried to go back like soon after I quit, but I mean, the thing with figure skating, it's so competitive, and you need to really put everything into it. A lot of the girls, were homeschooled and their entire lives were dedicated to it. And, my, it was a very difficult decision, and trying to go back and, being told that like, maybe this isn't what you need to be doing. Although it was really hard for me to hear. I'm so happy that my coach was honest with me and was like, maybe you should transition into something else. But no, I mean, a couple of years ago, I rented out a rink for like an hour somewhere in Van Nuys and just glided on the ice. And I was like, this is it. Like that feeling, it's you can't compare it to anything really.
So all this is like a journey for you. So when that ended, like, what was the next step? How did you like decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to do acting or get into acting?
I think I really missed having a creative outlet, having an outlet of any sort. And I also didn't realize that I needed that outlet because, at a young age, I don't think that that it registers with you, like what certain things like feed you. Until it's gone. And then when you try to find things to fill that void. And then in high school, we had to have, like take like an arts class, whether if it was like art or photography or like a theater course or something. And a couple of my friends were taking a theater class. And I was like, okay, like I'll join in. And then I realized that it gave me that same feeling, that like being able to emote and to express myself and be around people and sort of build a community. And I was like, this is what I need. So that's kind of what it was. I mean, I think I kind of like lucked out in the fact that like I sort of happen into it. Like it just like, if my friends took like a different class, I don't know where I would have been. Hopefully I would have found it somewhere down the road. But I'm really glad that it sort of stacked the deck that way.
Yeah. So after doing like theater and like lessons and everything, what was like your goal at first? Was it like just to go out, audition? Like what was the plan?
I don't even think if I was thinking so much about auditions. I think I really fell in love with like the world of theater. Okay. And so immediately after my senior year, I started, I tried to really focus on that. I was in a play in I think it was my senior year of high school. I'm sure it was my senior year of high school. And it got to go and perform in Scotland at the theater festival over there, the Edinburgh Theater Festival. And that was like my first taste of sort of like being a working actor. We weren't getting paid, but it was that like feeling of, oh my God, I'm traveling for work. I get to like show this to people like with this incredible, cast of my friends. And I really wanted to continue that feeling. But quite honestly, after I did that, I went to UC Santa Barbara as a business economics major, because theater and acting was so far from the world that my parents grew up in. They were like, you're not going to be an actor. You tried to be a figure skater. That was ridiculous. Like now you want to be an actor. That's ridiculous. So they were very much like, you need to do something stable. So I went to UCSB and I did that for a year, and I was not happy, and I missed that outlet. And that's when I auditioned for their theater conservatory there, and I got my BFA there. But it was that like need. It wasn't so much about auditioning, or I wasn't really thinking too much in the future. I was like, this is what I need right now for me.
So how did you decide to like, okay, you did theater, what's next? TV, film, like what was the next step that you took?
Next step that I took, I mean, I don't even know. Like after I graduated, I was very focused on theater, I think. But I was very lucky again that I was like joking around with my cousin in her neighborhood, like at my grandmother's house, and her neighbor sort of like caught eye of us and approached us, and we started talking, and I mentioned to her that, I got my BFA in acting and all this stuff. And she's the one who introduced me to actually my first agent. And that's kind of when it started. It started with commercials and like small little things in TV and small little parts in movies. And it kind of like grew from there. But it's really weird when I think about it, because I think that there is a lot to say about putting in all of the work. And there was a moment, when I was in LA and I was actually cold calling agents and trying to I was just like going through a role because I didn't know what to do, because I didn't know, I didn't have any contacts. Like, I'm so removed from that world that I was like Googling like agents in LA at like 21 and just like emailing like, to whom it may concern, this is all of my stuff. And I had a friend take headshots. So I think there was a lot of that. And then a lot of it was people taking a chance on me. And just weirdly enough, like the combination of timing and hard work. I'm still in the middle of it, trying to figure it out, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I did notice that one of your projects recently was Mad About You. How awesome was that?
Oh my
especially
God.
for a show that was on back in the 90s and it came back to do another season.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to work with like that caliber of actors. It was just very, I didn't believe it. I really didn't believe it, because I honestly thought that I had also bombed that audition. I was like, this is awful. Like, I can't believe I screwed it up that much. So also to get that phone call, it was like, I really was beside myself about it. And everybody was so sweet and so warm, and everyone is just like on it, you can tell it's like a seasoned machine. To be involved in it to any degree, it was really a dream come true.
Has there been talks maybe to do another season?
I haven't heard anything about it. It would be really amazing to do that. It was also the first time that I had been involved in any type of like live audience situation. So it was kind of like this like perfect combination of like TV and theater, and watching them in front of a live audience and seeing how they worked. I was like, they're brilliant. They're just on it. It was incredible.
Big difference working on a set like that and working on a set like Superman and Lois. With no people watching you except for like the people behind the scenes making it work.
I know, and it's like dead quiet. You can like hear things like pin drops, or it was definitely a little bit of a change. But I'm really lucky that I somehow I'm able to have like a little bit of a taste of everything, from working on like a film set to a sitcom set, and to be working on this show. It's like it has been such a learning process, and I'm just so happy that I say my prayers and thank yous every day, because I don't really know how this happened.
So let's jump into Superman Lois. Like, how did you get approached for this project?
I got a call from my manager, talking about this audition, and immediately I was really excited about it, because Superman and Lois, just like, even just the name itself, I was like, this is big. Like, this is a big deal. And so it was just like one audition, and then I try to like put it, in the back of my head, and then that turned into like, can she read another scene? And then I put that in the back of my head, and then it was like, she has a director session, and I was like, okay, well, this time we really have to to nail it. But it was just kind of like any other process, really.
Was this a live audition, or was it self-tape at first?
No, it was a self-tape. And in fact, the session after that where I got to meet like the creatives and everybody, that was also over Zoom. So that was a bit of a learning curve as well. Technology and me were not friends. So the fact that it was able to go through, I was like, okay, that was my biggest fear. I was like, call's going to drop, internet's going to go down.
So for the self-tape, like, so how did you prepare yourself to, because did you know you were auditioning for Chrissy at first?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
So like, how do you prepare for that role? Like, did you know the backstory on her?
I was given like a bit of a breakdown. And then I think from there, it's all sort of about like interpretation, trying to understand like the tone of it. I really tried to also focus on her relationship with Lois, and how she really, really admires her. And I think that in my mind, I sort of played it as that Lois was really the inspiration for her to go into journalism. So it was kind of like understanding those key parts of Chrissy and sort of bringing that in and giving my rendition of what I thought it would be, and then just being open to any type of direction given after that. Yeah.
So now, speaking of the character, what's been like the one, like, let me rephrase this, like, have you had any challenges first playing this character, and what's been like your favorite thing about this character?
Challenges with playing this character, I think well, you know, I would say that one of the challenges, especially in the beginning, or you know, even moving forward, it's trying to find that balance of really being so like, I'm like enamored by Lois. You know, she's starstruck. She really is.
Yeah.
She really looks up to this woman, and you know, for very obvious reasons. And having Lois then come work at the Gazette with her when Chrissy's at the helm of it, trying to find that balance of like, oh my God, I love you so much. I can't believe that you're here. And also trying to maintain that level of professionalism to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of a tricky thing for Chrissy and for myself to like find that happy little place of like, oh my God, I love you. You can do anything, but also like there's a certain protocol in Smallville when it comes to this kind of stuff. The thing I love about Chrissy is that she is very ambitious and she's so energetic, and whatever she does, she really puts everything into it. And I think that she's really finding herself in all of this, and kind of like touching back as to why she went into journalism. And I mean, and she gets to work with her idol, like, come on.
And it's funny because at first, when we first saw you, we didn't know that you worked for the Smallville Gazette. You were kind of like stalking the character.
Oh my God, I know.
So we're like, oh, who's this person? What are they up to?
Just like in the corner, just always staring, like very obvious about it. But that's Chrissy, you know, she can't hide. I don't think she can really hide anything that she's doing.
But we also noticed, like, throughout was it a couple weeks ago, the last episode that we saw before it took a break, how like you went on your own now, started investigating things, and you're like in that dark parking lot, and you're like looking around. It's like that's kind of be an exciting scene to film.
Oh my God, it was so exciting when I got that script. I was like, oh my, like amazing, because you felt the buildup. I hope everyone felt the buildup. I sure as heck felt the buildup. Because again, I think she's taking cues from Lois. I think that she's recognizing that you know, she has to do what she can to get the truth out of the story. And I was so proud. I was so proud of that episode for her, because I was like, she's doing it. Like, yes, like she's putting herself in there. She's getting information. She's following leads. And that's such a special thing. And I think that's she's going to hold on to that. Like I'm going to hold on to that, like as the episodes progress.
Right. So Lois is played by Elizabeth. So you guys, most of your scenes are with her. Like, so how do you like describe the chemistry between you two and the way you guys feed off each other?
Oh my God. It is exactly like Chrissy and Lois. I called it from the beginning. I was like, oh, because like it has been so incredible working with her, I have to say, because you know, she's really helped me throughout this process, the same way that Lois has sort of stepped in for Chrissy and has given her that type of encouragement. I would say the dynamic very much mirrors the dynamic of the characters. So it hasn't been, it's not been like back-breaking work to make it work for the scenes. It's literally just like this moment of like, all right, and now the cameras are rolling, and we just like keep that. I mean, it's been an absolute dream.
Has there been any bloopers between you two that you guys just started laughing at each other for maybe like a wrong line or?
Yeah, I would say like sometimes I think as like the scenes keep going and the takes keep coming, definitely there are moments of that. But I mean, it's just been an absolute joy. I was really, that's what I think that you worry about, or I worry about at least as an actor, is like, oh God, I hope that chemistry is there. Having not met anybody before, like going into it, that was my biggest fear. I was like, oh my God, I hope people like me, and I hope we work well together. And then the minute, like day one, I was like, oh, this is incredible. Like everyone's just friendly and really wanting to produce something amazing, which, I would say we have been. And so it's been freaking rad.
So this is filmed in Vancouver. How beautiful have they made Smallville look like? It's like amazing from what I've, and I'm a huge Superman fan. For what I see in Smallville, it's like, it's awesome.
It is so awesome. It is so real, and it looks like a small town.
Yeah.
It is so incredible to even walk around there. There's like a movie theater and a hardware store. The diner is just like detailed perfect, like everything. I've just been taking strolls up and down, like just kind of like taking it in. I'm like, this is home. It feels like home. They've done such a marvelous job with it.
How many episodes have you filmed so far? Because I know you guys are on a break right now till May 18th. But how many episodes have you filmed so far, and how many more you think you'll do this year?
Well, I know we're doing 15 episodes.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're almost there. We're almost there. I mean, and I think a lot of that comes from everybody making sure that like safety is in place, more than anything else. And I think like sort of like producing like such a great show, and everything is like so meticulous, and I'm really like happy with all of the safety protocols that have been like put in place. And it's been a hard year for so many reasons, but the end result has been so gratifying that you just like want more and more and more and more. Yeah.
And hopefully next year we get the usual 22, 23 episodes.
Yeah. Oh God. It's weird because like I've now turned into this fangirl of everything, where I'm just also like, oh, we have to wait to watch them, because I was just looking forward to it. Because you get the script and you see it, and then to see it come to life has just been such an absolute joy that like I was looking forward to Tuesday nights. So I'm really ready for it to come back.
Just think about it, like you're in pretty much a superhero show, and things are, we're still in that rough patch where there's no Comic-Cons yet or anything. But imagine if we had a San Diego Comic-Con and you were part of that.
Yeah,
who would have thought, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine that. Yeah, it's overwhelming. As you said that, like my heart just started beating. So that's like the level of preparedness that I'm at right now, where I'm like still, but yeah, I mean, it would have been like a totally different world, totally different experience. But I have to say, with what we've been given and the situation that we're in, that excitement and that like heart pounding thing is like still there.
We'll get through it with this whole pandemic thing, and eventually things will open up again. Then you'll meet the crazy fans too.
I'll get to meet the crazy fans. I love it. I love all the fans. Everyone's been so receptive, and I think that's great. I think that's what's so awesome about the show. There's like, there's a character for everyone. You know what I mean? Right. It's just so I think that all the characters are, different, and people can attach to each of them, all of them, or whatever, see themselves in whomever they want.
Who knows? We might see a crossover. You might end up at a different show too.
Oh God.
You never
God,
know.
I know. I'm like, what is this world that I've jumped into? It's so exciting.
Yeah. So, what's next for you? Any other projects that you've worked on that you could tell us about?
Right now, I'm just very much focused on this show. Really, really in love with the character of Chrissy, and we're still in the process of filming, and I think that's where my attention is right now. Yeah.
Lastly, how can the listeners find you on social media?
Instagram. I like pretended to put my Twitter back up, but I'm not really good at any of that. So don't follow me on there. I will have no idea what's going on. I have not checked it in quite a while. But yeah, Instagram. It's just Sofia Hasmik. Nice and easy.
Sofia, this was great. Thank you for coming on.
No, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for having me.